Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Post Route Show. And now, here's your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
I want to thank Carter Back for this award.
Good evening and welcome to the Post Route. What you just witnessed was the 2025 BIP Memorial Trophy winner for high schools, a champion. That's who our award winners are, champions. Mr. Jelani Dipple from Fresno, California, Central East, the young rising quarterback from the West Coast. But welcome to the Post Route, the show where we bring you phenomenal conversations with quarterbacks from the past and the present. As always, our show is brought to you by Quarter Five Back, the preeminent fraternity of Black quarterbacks and home of the only national award that represents and recognizes Black quarterbacks, top Black quarterback from the HBCU, top Black quarterbacks from high schools across the nation under the banner of the BIP Memorial Trophy. We hope that you enjoy our show, and we're glad to have you with us tonight for another conversation. Got a very special guest tonight. When we talk about champions, we're talking about at that very, very upper level of champion. So if you like what we're doing here at the Post Route, hey, help us out. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss on one episode of what we're doing. Check us out on Instagram at quarter_5_back. Go to our website. Find out what we're doing there. Click on our blog icon for phenomenal newsletters that we've put together about quarterbacks, both past and present, and the schools they represented. And also, you can now shop on our website. All these things are what you can find here at Quarter Five Back and the Post Route Show. Let me get to my guest tonight. When we talk about champions, I don't think there's any stronger resume than this young man that we have with us tonight. Very honored to have him with us tonight. Hey, here's what he is. A two-time NCAA FCS national champion in 2006 and 07. A two-time Walter Payton Award winner, which is the most outstanding player for FCS. A two-time SoCon, Southern Conference Offensive Player of the Year in 08 and 09. Three-time All Southern Conference first team. One-time All Conference second team. Played several years of professional football for the Carolina Panthers, Cleveland Browns, Chicago Bears. Also played in Canada for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Toronto Argonauts, where he won a Grey Cup championship in 2017. Now, those are just the honors on the field. They retired his number at Appalachian State because he wore number 14. This young man is currently now a member of the Appalachian State University Hall of Fame. In 2015, he was inducted. And in 2024, because of his outstanding collegiate career, throwing for over 10,000 yards during his career, 70-plus touchdowns, he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2024. What a resume. Please join me in welcoming my guest tonight from Appalachian State by way of Greenwood, South Carolina. Please welcome Mr. Armonte Edwards. Armonte, welcome to the Post Route.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey, man, that is a list of things, and all the records you broke at Appalachian State. How does it feel when you set all those records, man, when you look back and look at all the work you put in and all the time you put in, like, man, I did a lot of work while I was there. What does that feel like?
I never sit back and think about it. The individual accolades, definitely have to give a lot of credit to the guys that I played with who put in just as much work as I did, and definitely the coaches that gave me that type of opportunity, especially looking at my size and stature back then didn't look like the standard quarterback in height and weight. So just to have that opportunity and be trusted with running a offense for 4 years, that's all I can ask for.
Well, I can think of several quarterbacks who are not prototypical pro style quarterbacks. When they talk about a guy got to be 6'2", 6'3", I think quarterbacks at the collegiate level, especially in this day and time, that prototype is more like 6 feet to 6'2", because you got to be real mobile in this day and time. But when talking to you earlier, you said something that I like to zero in on, and you mentioned the fact that your coaches from high school told you that Appalachian State had a system they felt fit you. When you got there and started immersing yourself in the system, could you really just see that what they said was true?
I understood that before I got up there. In
Okay.
high school, we were kind of 50-50. So half the time we were under center, but the other half we were doing the what they call the RPO now. That's when it was just beginning the read option, run, play option. So we was kind of doing that in high school already, and obviously when I got to Appalachian State, they just moved to all gun, so that pretty much fit where I was best at anyway, doing the read options and throwing the bubble screens and going from there.
Well, coming into a system like that and knowing that, hey, man, you fit it like a glove. Uh, that freshman year, I mean, it's a transition already as a student going to college that first year, but now a student athlete, and here you are transitioning from high school to college, and almost at a snap of the finger, you're the starting quarterback. You got things happening for you that some guys have to wait 2-3 years. Some guys never see the football field because it's some guys in front of them are just a little bit more talented. How good did it feel to know that your talents fit them to the point where, hey, you became a starter? Not didn't take long at all. How did that feel?
Honestly, it wasn't something that I truly had time to think about,
Okay.
because when I was recruited, I wasn't handed the starting job. It was actually me and another guy from Strong Thurman, Coco Hillary. We both were recruited by Atlas for quarterbacks, and we were told one of us was going to be the backup and one of us was going to be moved to receiver, and Camp was going to tell it. And I happened to beat him out as the quarterback to be the second string. So I knew I was going to be waiting my turn, but again, it just one of those cliche things to say, but it is really true when you have to compete and prepare yourself as if you're going to be the starter, because at any position, especially quarterback, you're one play away from starting. So I just took practice as if I was a starter, um, totally soaking in all the information from the first screen guy, from what the coaches was telling me, from all the veteran guys around me, just soaking it in. And unfortunate event happened to our starter the third game where he got knocked out the game, and I was able to come in and keep the chains rolling. And I guess the coaches liked what they saw, and by game four, I was starting game three or game four.
Well, obviously, man, you were mentally prepared already, and like you say, one play away from having to be the starting quarterback or having to be ushered into uh, uh, being the quarterback for that game, and not knowing if it's just temporary or not. But uh, did you get comfortable in that game? Did you feel real comfortable to the point where it was no pressure to you? You felt so comfortable that it was like, this, no pressure on me at all. I really feel good about this.
I think I was just a little naive, young, and I was just young and very excited to be able to step on a football field at the collegiate level and play. I definitely didn't have the plays down packed, but the coaches did a great job of protecting me with the play calls where I get a lot of read one side of the field, make the decision. Nothing's open, take off running, and we caught a lot of. We had a great running game, a great offensive line, and not a Hall of Famer, but a All-American running back. So I had a lot of weapons around me that shielded me until I was extremely comfortable with the playbook.
Well, I know that transition, man, and it's great that they surrounded you with other players, and I'm sure the support for you was phenomenal. But kind of take us through, that first year, because as you got through that first year and everything was happening for you, some things happen so fast, but obviously they saw a lot of potential in you and they had a lot of confidence in you. Was your confidence ever shaken in that first year, or it just grew? And by the time you came back to that sophomore year, man, you were really locked and loaded.
Um, I don't think I was ever shaken at all. Not from a cocky standpoint. Again,
Yeah.
I was extremely naive, and from my standpoint, my mindset was already I'm not going to start here until my junior year. So that's my
Okay.
mindset, and I already have the mindset of although I'm the backup, I know I need to be prepared in case anything happens to the first string quarterback. So that was my mindset, and that's how I went into practice. I just practiced hard, made a lot of mistakes, but I just kept failing forward.
Yeah.
But I can hear chatter around. I had a couple of players come up to me, tell me I'm looking good. Have coaches coming up saying they like what they saw. Again, it's going in one end, out the other. For me, I'm just out there having fun, doing what I have to do. But yeah, I played in every game. NC State, we fell a little short, and by the fourth quarter, um, they put me in to see what I can do. We kind of moved the ball and everything, and I guess they liked what they saw. So the second game, that's when the quarterback got injured with a concussion, and we happened to win that game against a very good team in the FCS. And by the third game, they handed over the starting job to me, and I just never gave it back from there. But again, I hate to say it again, but I was just clueless at this time and out there really just wanted to play the game, and I was loving it.
Well, I think you being clueless and being naive, man, probably was the best thing that was going for you, because
Mm.
I'm sure you were getting people comparing you to some other quarterbacks who were dual threat quarterbacks, especially guys who were in the at the pro level. Did you hear people uh, maybe saying, he kind of reminds us of a Michael Vick, or he looks like another guy? I mean, did you hear some comparisons like that in your first year?
Not necessarily. I don't want to really tell my age, but this is a time where social media is not that popular just yet. So there's no Instagram. We don't have all that just yet. And
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm at a small school, so at this time nobody still knows where Appalachian State at, where Boone, North Carolina. So I think that helped out a lot as well. We had a great fan base for the town, but outside of the town, nobody really knew where we were. So the media I didn't have to really deal with just yet.
Well, I'll say this, Armante. I don't think anybody knew about Boone, North Carolina, and Appalachian State um, in 2005 per se, unless they were in that community and that 100-mile radius, maybe. But because of what you did your freshman year, I think the first game of your sophomore year, we all found out who Appalachian State Mountaineers were, because you guys have got to have the biggest upset, the biggest upset in the past 20 years in college football, when you guys took on Michigan in the big house and put an L on those guys. Let's talk a little bit about that game and what it was like having to make that trip and going into the game, and just what kind of mindset you guys were having to play a team like that, because the big dogs are always supposed to be the ones that's going to take you out.
Definitely. At this point, we are now back-to-back national champions. So they won in 2005 before I got there. Then my freshman year, we won again. And during that time in 2006, our last loss was our first game. So we was
Yeah.
on a 14 or 15 game winning streak. And at this point, we forgot how to lose.
Okay.
And, our confidence is through the roof now. And we found out we were playing Michigan, I think, during what we call winter jam
Okay.
in the off season around February. And
Okay.
it wasn't like a state of shock when it was announced. Everybody was hooping and hollering, excited. So from that point, from February all the way to September, all we did was prepare for Michigan.
Yeah.
Throughout the summer, our strength and conditioning coach, the only song he played in the weight room was the Michigan fight song. So you can imagine how irritated we are during this whole time. So, most teams sit and prepare for a team for a week or two, where we really and truly prepare since February.
Gotcha.
And once we got there, there's no disrespect, because the stadium holds a lot of fans, but if you've been there, it's not individual seats; it's all bleachers. So the
Yeah.
stadium was actually looking quite smaller than what you can tell on TV. Our head coach, he did a good job of taking us to the stadium the day before. He said, you can get your oohs and ahs out now, because tomorrow, we're coming up here play and win this game. And that's exactly what happened. You get the stadium shock out the way, so when you go back in the next day, once you step on those lines, it's back to football.
But Monty, I mean, playing at Michigan, 109,000 people, national TV. I mean, I know it's equivalent in some respects to playing for a national championship, but man, we're talking about one of the biggest stadiums in the nation, one of the biggest fan bases. I mean, everything is going on at that particular weekend and getting you guys ready, but you guys were like David and Goliath. It's like you guys had no fear. And in that second half of the game, did you really sense that, hey, man, we're still in this, and yeah, we can do this?
I think we understood that going into half, because we
Okay.
had a pretty decent lead at that time. I think it was like 28-17 when we were up. Our coaches did a great job with the game plan. I don't know if you go back and watch the film. What we did, we kept everything short and sweet,
Yeah.
because we knew we were the smaller team. If we try to do a five step drop back or run post in 15, 20-yard routes, their D line was gonna weigh heavy on our offensive line and tire us out. So we kept everything short and sweet, between 5 and 10, and we stuck to the game plan. Even when the game got close and they took the lead, we still stuck to the game plan, didn't deviate. And once again, at this point, we had forgot how to lose any game, so we were going to figure it out by any means necessary.
Well, it had to be one of those very exhilarating things to play a team like that, because when the final, I recall seeing the final seconds of the clock, man, and watching you guys rush the field and looking at the fans of Michigan just be in total shock. Like, who are these guys? Who scheduled them? I mean, nobody prepared Michigan for you guys, but you were totally prepared for Michigan. When the game was over, man, I know you guys were just in so much joy. How do you describe that kind of feeling when you beat a team like that in that kind of game, man? I mean, what is that feeling like?
Is extremely hard to explain.
Yeah.
You know, your excitement level is at 100 right now. It I don't know how to explain it. You know, although we went into that game never believing that we couldn't win, it's still
Yeah.
the fact that you mentioned and we understood it that at this time this is the number 5 best team in all of college football.
Yeah.
This is, you know, a Power 4 school, who has a great tradition of winning, Hall of Fame coach sending guys to the NFL. So we understood the magnitude, and yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy after the game.
Hey man, I mean, because I know just based on your abilities as a dual threat, man, I knew you had to be giving those guys some headaches with the speed and the quickness that you were giving them. Could you just see the frustration on their face if like they thought they had you bottled up and all of a sudden you just broke out, 10-yard run or 15, 20-yard run, and they just knew they had you. It's like, man, who is this guy? I mean, hands on hips, they looking at you guys, man, they so frustrated that helps you guys because it's like their frustration works against them. What kind of things were they saying to you when you broke them off sometimes?
I can't remember exactly. It was one D tackle that was trying to talk a little junk, but you know, as the game went on, and you can see he's getting a little tired. He's not talking as much, so we knew we was wearing him down, and that was pretty much our advantage. And we took pride in that in camp. We knew we were going to be smaller than most people that we played, even at our in our division. We
Yeah,
were pretty undersized at our position. So we knew we had to be extremely conditioned and be ready to run. That was our offense. Our offensive lineman had to be pulling for 10 to 15 yards and be in shape for us to not waste too much time in the play clock where we get into the next play. And that was going to be our advantage. And of course, it being game one, you know, game one is the hardest game for
absolutely.
anybody coming out of camp because you cannot prepare. I don't care what anybody says. It's hard to prepare for a live game coming out of camp. So it's going to be some kind of exhaustion, and we did a great job of being in shape for it.
Well, that game basically launched you guys into a phenomenal season, man. You just kept rolling, kept rolling, kept rolling. You get back to the FCS championships again, man, and uh, you guys just got on everybody's purview. Everybody was very familiar with you guys, and I'm sure your fan base increased probably 100% after not just the Michigan game, but to keep winning back to back to back championships, man. I mean, again, where's Appalachian State? So, um, you guys got confidence all over yourselves, man, and not to be bragging anything like that, but you got to be feeling real good about the fact that you're in a great program, and yeah, it was meant for you to go to Appalachian State.
Yes, everything just aligned, the universe aligned. I had no clue who Appalachian State was when they first started recruiting me. I didn't know where it was, but I I listened to my coaches, my high school head football coach and my offensive coordinator. They were great mentors for me. My offensive coordinator, he was the one that actually did all my recruiting for me.
Yeah.
Talked to all the schools. So, yeah, I wasn't necessarily about to go to App State. Everything just lined up where I was about to commit to Georgia Southern, but their coaches got fired during that season. And that same week, I was going to take my official visit to Georgia Southern. Appalachian State called, and that's when my coaches told me they thought that was the perfect fit for me, and that's how I ended up there.
When I think about some of the schools just in South Carolina, man, it's like, man, how did they let this guy get out of South Carolina? Furman, okay. South Carolina State, okay. Clemson, okay. South Carolina, okay. I mean, how does something like that happen? But we've seen it so many times where, coaches make a decision about one guy and let a better guy get away because I've told people about, and you say Tracy Ham. Tracy Ham was right in the backyard of the University of Florida. I mean, in the backyard in Gainesville. They knew about him. No offers. And he ends up at Georgia Southern and rewrites college history because, that system fit him. As you look at systems, I mean, because you've played in a few systems at the professional level, talk a little bit about the importance of a system being a good fit, because a lot of times when I've seen guys in the pros not make it at some pro teams, I always say it's not the right system for that guy. But yet they try to, they in pros, they're gonna try to make the system fit you as opposed to making, the system do what it's supposed to do and work to your strengths. But they want to make, well, this is the way we run things, and we're gonna make you fit that system. I've seen it so many times just not work out. Talk a little bit about systems and the importance of why systems need to fit the athlete.
Yes, just a regular fan, they don't really catch on to that. They look at it as a guy is sorry or he can't compete when it's the furthest from the truth, and
Yeah.
not understanding that every coach has their own philosophy. And there are a few coaches like a Andy Reid, and there are a few more that, depending on the type of player they get, they will not deviate from their philosophy, but
Yeah.
they find a way to work in that player's attributes. And as you can see now, that's why you see certain teams win, because they know how to play to the advantages of the players they have. And that's why we've seen some players play for a certain organization, they do well, and if they get traded, or their contract is up and they take a contract at another team, they don't do so well. It's a different system for them. They're asked to do things differently than what they're comfortable with, or they're
Mm-hmm.
asked to even change up their technique of
Mm.
how they even play the game. And once you start thinking as a player is going, it's going to slow you down. So a lot of people don't be understanding that or can see it on the TV. But yeah, systems play a huge part in a player's career.
And Amante, just to take that one step further, for you to have played in systems in the NFL and then switch to systems in the Canadian League, comparatively speaking, uh, the systems of those two leagues or the way they play the game, talk a little bit about what that was like for you having to adjust one way, and then when you got to Canada, it was a total different adjustment on how you had to play the game.
Yeah, I think as a receiver coming from the NFL, if you understand the Canadian League quickly, it is very beneficial for us. The field is bigger, it's wider. So in the NFL, with everything being narrow, your routes, you have to be extremely explosive, quick, and if you don't get your head around fast enough, you're gonna miss the ball. Where as in Canada, you can kind of slow it down a little bit, still be explosive, but because the field is so big, you got more time to get open and everything. So it actually benefited as a receiver. Now, on the other side of the ball is it's totally different. A lot of people don't realize that the defense have to line up a yard off the ball.
Okay.
So you can't be directly on the ball like in American football. Even
Right.
if the ball's on the 10 and we're going in and the defense is lined up at 9.5, they're offside,
Yeah.
even though they haven't crossed the ball. So that's one disadvantage for them. Another for the defensive backs, everybody that's off the ball on offense gets to run downhill before the ball starts.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah.
So you get 7 to 8 yard head start. So that's hard for a defender where a guy's already full speed before the ball hikes, where he got to has to cover him.
Right. Well, I'm sure that is one of the unique things about Canadian football, man, because, you got guys in motion going forward as opposed to lateral. And defensive backs, man, they got to get on their horse right away because that guy's already at, almost at full speed by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage. And that's just a different and unique way of playing football. But, the first time I saw it, I thought it was kind of interesting. And I've liked watching Canadian football simply because it is explosive and because it does have some of the differences there that they don't have in America. So, yeah, it's been good. Well, look, I'm going to take a quick break, man. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about your career, and then we're going to talk a little bit about black quarterbacks. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. Joining me tonight, one of the most outstanding collegiate football players at the quarterback position that you ever have seen, maybe have heard of, in Monte Edwards, formerly of Appalachian State. This guy, two-time Walter Payton Award winner, national champion, all conference. You look at what he's done and just put a check by all the boxes because he's checked them all off. We read all the passing records at Appalachian State. Phenomenal guy. We're going to get back to him after we take this quick timeout. So now let me tell you what we're going to do. Before we get too deep into getting to our resident mental performance specialist, Dr. William Kitchings Jr., want to remind you that, hey, go to our store at quarter5back.com and get you one of our hoodies. Let me tell you, our hoodies are really nice additions to your wardrobe. So do what you can to get you one of those. They are now on sale for $50 and $60 for our hoodies. Soft cotton, they wear well, they're warm, they're comfortable. Hey, free shipping for every order we get. You can order them right directly from us on our store at quarter5back.com. Also at the store, you can get a copy of my book, The Forgotten QBs, the little known history, statistics, and information about black quarterbacks in American college football. And the purpose of that is to make sure that guys don't have legacies forgotten ever. For instance, we don't ever want to forget about a guy like an Monte Edwards simply because he did some phenomenal things in 4 years. I mean, a guy throwing for 10,000 yards. He is now a part of the fabric of what we do here to preserve the legacies of black quarterbacks. Get a copy of the book. $35 is the cost. We ship it out free. And hey, I'll even autograph it for you if you order the book. So those are the things that we have waiting for you if you go to our store at quarter5back.com. Now, coming to you as he does on a regular basis is our mental performance specialist, Dr. William Kitchings Jr., bringing you another edition of Psyched Up.
Trying harder doesn't always mean performing better. Sometimes it makes it worse. My name is Dr. William Kitchings Jr., and this is Psyched Up. Last two sessions, we built a system. Habits that run automatically, accountability that protects them. Today is about what happens inside the rep itself. Where your attention goes during execution determines how well the skill performs. Not how hard you're trying, where you're looking. Research on attentional focus and motor learning shows something most athletes never get told. Directing attention externally towards the target, the receiver, the landing spot, produces measurably better performance than directing it internally towards mechanics. The research, known as the constrained action hypothesis, shows that internal focus activates conscious control and disrupts the automatic execution the body has already been trained to produce. The more a quarterback thinks about how he's throwing, the less efficiently the throw executes. And this isn't just true under pressure. It shows up in everyday reps too, which means the practice field is where attention direction gets trained, not just on game day. So here's the work this week. Pick one specific situation in your game, a route concept, a pressure look, a red zone scenario, and identify one external focal point for that situation. Not a mechanic, not a feeling, a target. For example, on a quick out route, instead of thinking about your release, your focal point is the receiver's outside shoulder. That's it. One target every rep. Write it down, then work on it deliberately until the attention goes there without reminding yourself. Because focus isn't concentration, it's direction. Where attention goes, execution follows. Train the direction, and the performance takes care of itself. I'm Dr. William Kitchings Jr., and this is Psyched Up, a space built for the moments behind the moments.
Well, there it is. The doctor tells you again what you need to do to perform better. And performance is always going to be 90% mental, 10% physical. We're going to welcome back to the show right now our guest, the most outstanding quarterback that ever played at Appalachian State, in my opinion. Maybe everybody else's opinion from up there in Boone, North Carolina. But we have with us tonight Mr. Armonte Edwards. Armonte, welcome back to the Post Route.
Thank you.
So Dr. Will Kitchings was talking about, focusing in on a couple of things when you're in big moments. What were some of the things, maybe when you were at Appalachian State, especially in some of the big moments that, you played in the big football games against big D1 schools, but national championship? What were some of the things you may have focused in on more intently than others while you were playing?
So it's how I try to teach my son and the kids that I work with, and help them understand that by the time you get to the game, everything should be just not thinking, should be second nature, and you're out there having fun. So practice is where you have to be extremely intentional. Yeah. So the way I treated practice at App was I couldn't turn the ball over. Even if it was one-on-one with the receiver and defensive back, I'm not throwing the interception, not fumbling the ball, making the easy throws accurate. And if I can do all those things Monday through Friday, Saturday is we're just out here playing the game now. And that's how I treat it every week.
Well, those are some very strong points, because in this day and time, our young men, whether they're playing quarterback or other positions, that mental focus, man, is so critical. And to make sure you're getting it done in practice, because like you said, on game day, it should come second nature to you. You shouldn't have to think about it. You should just be out there performing. So those are some very good points. Going back to your career at both the collegiate and professional levels, you accomplished a lot of things. And for me, I think the two things that stick out right now for me is the fact that, number one, your university honored you in a very short amount of time after you had played there. So congratulations on being inducted into the Appalachian State Hall of Fame. I know that had to be a great honor. I'm sure it took you by surprise because it came so soon after you left.
Yeah, I don't know if I was surprised or anything. I'm one of those kind of laid back, mellow style people, so it's not anything that I've been looking for. Not one of these inductions I've actually sought out and looked for, and quite frankly, I didn't expect to have the career I had at App, nor did I. I'm not a stat person. I didn't care about it. I didn't look at the paper. I didn't see how many yards I threw for or ran for after the game. The only stat that I truly cared about was my turnovers. So, that's the only one that I looked at and took pride in.
Well, I kind of gathered that, man, you are a real humble guy. So I understand that. And as I've told some people as we're getting ready for my high school Hall of Fame, it's like people want to give you your roses while you can appreciate it. Not so much it's about you, but it's about people just wanting to show appreciation. And then I know in 2024, once again, Hall of Fame called on you because of what you had done. But, you produced on the field, and people acknowledging, that production, that output, and just letting you know, hey man, we're thankful and we appreciate it. I'm sure those Mountaineer fans up there at App State, man, show so much love and appreciation for you for the time you were there. Even I guess anytime you go back there, man, it's just a lot of love they show for you because you just really helped to make that program as great as it has become.
Definitely, it's a outstanding fan base. When I played, and they're still showing tremendous amount of support and love. Going to the games up there, and they always show love when I come up, bring my family, and it's just like we never left. So we definitely love it up there.
Well, that's a blessing, man, because some guys don't even go back to their alma maters, but man, when you go back and there's still love because there's a connection. There's a connection, and that connection is lifelong for some people, not so much for others. Um, let's switch gears a little bit and start talking about today's environment for black quarterbacks. I mean, uh, of course, in a day and time where we're seeing half the NFL last year start a black quarterback, 16 of the 32 teams. As a former black quarterback or a former quarterback, however you want to look at it, how does it make you feel to know that black quarterbacks are getting the opportunities a lot more so than maybe used to be some years ago, back in the 90s and 80s? How does that make you feel now?
I love it because it this has been there all along. Before I played, uh, before my time in college or the NFL, there's always been great black athletes that can play the quarterback position. The issue was one of two things. Obviously, the first one is the elephant in the room with racism, and
Yep.
the second one is not many coaches who were in position of power knew how to coach and use a dual threat quarterback during those times. So I'm love what I'm seeing now, where I think what it was half or a little over half the NFL had starting black quarterbacks in week one.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm glad those guys are getting their opportunity.
And at the collegiate level, it is expanded even more because a lot of guys have definitely made inroads at the collegiate level. I know at some schools, some guys were the first black quarterbacks there. Some guys have been one of a few black quarterbacks there. Uh, in talking to young men who are quarterbacks at the high school level, how would you prepare them mentally to deal with the fact that they may not always get an opportunity because of a system or because of other factors that relates to who they are and their skill sets?
Man, it's tough nowadays. Simply because of social media. Is everybody can get knowledge or see anything at the click of a button in their hand now. So
Yeah.
it's extremely hard, but I still would tell the young guys just control what you can control. You can control your attitude,
Mm.
how you work, your work ethic, your discipline. You can control all those things, your consistency. And if you just take your time and work on what you need to work on every day and getting better step by step, somebody will give you an opportunity. It may not be at the school that you want to go to,
Yeah.
but somebody out there will give you an opportunity, especially with the transfer portal now. So
Well, I think, those things are critically important because, a lot of times these young men come out of high school with high expectations
mm,
and it doesn't always, work out for them. They want to go to certain schools, but those schools don't always come knocking on their door. And again, having conversations with young men to keep them balanced, man, so that they don't lose focus on the fact that, hey, you got to stay focused, young man, on being and doing what you can do. Like you said, you can only control so much, and
mm,
those things you can't control, and sometimes, and I'm sure you can speak from experience, sometimes one situation you may not see it, and that's the thing that I love, that, even like for yourself, you may not have seen that Appalachian State wasn't going to be a good fit or the best thing for you, but in reality, it was the best thing that happened for you, because had you gone to Georgia Southern, Armonte Edwards might not have had the career he had in college. So those things are important. And, being that young men look up to you, how do you help temper their mindsets when they think that they deserve, because one of the things that bothers me at times, kids in this time and era, they feel so entitled to things. I should get it because that's not the way it works. And I think the more often we have young men like yourself who can speak truth to it, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it's hard because like a guy like yourself, mentoring a guy like me in the coaching world, who's we basically have to be mentors too, where we're competing with with the phone. Uh, we can tell them one thing, but they'll see something else online. So it gets tough trying to compete with a phone. But I just try to tell them, never close the doors. Keep your doors wide open. Keep an open mind. You may feel that you're good enough to be at a Power Four school, and that might be true. But what if they already signed their guy for that position and they can't sign anybody else? What are you gonna do now? So you have to keep an open mind and again control what you can control and be ready for your opportunity when it comes, because we see so many guys, so many kids to where they can be great athletes, but if they don't get it, just like you said, if they don't get it right then and there, they stop and quit, or they pout. They start, just putting bad seeds out in the world. Then the opportunity comes and they're not prepared for it. So you see that too many times, to where, as long as you control what you can control and be ready for when that time comes, you'll be all right.
Well, those are very true facts and very truthful things to mention to guys. Then the other thing, Amonte, is helping a young man make that transition from being a quarterback in college to he now becomes that athlete in high school, rather quarterback in high school, transitioning to college, and they want him to change positions. How difficult is that to manage at a young age, man? Because some guys, they're not built maybe to be a receiver or a cornerback. They're not always built. So how do you help them transition that part too?
And that's a tough one. It starts with the mind first.
Yeah.
Just like with me, although the transition happened fast, it still in my mind and my heart, I was still a quarterback. So
Right.
you have to get over that part as quick as possible, and just start understanding that if you truly love this game and you want to get out on the field and help the team and to do whatever, you have to get that out your head and start becoming the best player you can be. And once you can get over that part of, okay, my quarterback days or whatever position you were are now over and they want me at this other position, now you
Yeah.
can get back to getting to work and get your fundamentals, technique, understanding the IQ level at that position, and going back to having fun.
Uh, the value of a HBCU to a lot of student athletes who are not always in that 4-star, 5-star category. How do you, or what would you say to them as it relates? Because I know a lot of guys, they look down on Division II, and it's like, man, if I can't go Division I, I don't want to go. But the opportunity, and I think that's what's important, just talking to them about opportunity. But when we absolutely talk about opportunities to go to a HBCU, you just want to go someplace where a system works, people going to care about you, and you're going to be able to do what you can do. Do you think HBCUs are still of value for a lot of guys to understand that they can make it if they just go apply themselves?
100%. I actually think they're better now than ever because of, again, transfer. And we
Yeah.
have social media. So all these big schools that everybody wants to go to, these recruiting coaches can see you now sitting in their office on their phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, when you at a HBCU, you still around people that look like you, and more than likely y'all have a lot of the same interests. So
Mm.
you still get to be around that culture. And there's a lot of great athletes that go to HBCUs, but again, now is a great time because if you're one of the best at the HBCU for 1 to 2 years, you got the opportunity of a lifetime if you choose to leave in the transfer portal with NIL. Well,
Yeah.
18, 19-year-old kids are getting millions of dollars now. So, man, just again, be open minded. Don't think past what's in front of you.
Yeah.
That's the hard part for a lot of people. They're looking too far down the road. Enjoy every moment that you're in, and what's supposed to be aligned for you is definitely going to happen.
Well, that's some great advice, man, and I'm sure you're pouring that into uh, the young men you're dealing with. So now you were saying you coach your son's 7-on-7 teams. How's that been going for you? Are you enjoying that part of life to be able to coach now as opposed to being a player? What's going on with that part?
Yeah, I got a few gray hairs from it, but
No, no.
yeah. It's been great. It's brought me out of my comfort zone, my shell,
Okay.
where I'm more laid back, want to stay out the spotlight, don't want to do that much talking. But when you're coaching, you can't sit back. You have to be out there helping. But I enjoy it because you still will have those kids to where you give them advice, you mentor them, you show them technique, and they pick it up immediately and go use it. And that just brings a lot of joy to my heart when I see the kids that I'm trying to help. They take their advice and go use it, and they're successful with it.
So are you grooming any quarterbacks now that you kind of see have some skills and abilities to rise to get to the next level to perform?
I wouldn't necessarily say grooming. I've worked with, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of young kids at the quarterback position, and they're pretty athletic, and their arm strength is kind of crazy now because I don't recall myself or seeing a lot of quarterbacks at that age being able to throw the way they can throw now. It's
Mm,
just a matter of what I found. It's just a matter of teaching them the game. They can throw it. A lot of them can run it. Just having them pinpoint and understand, reading defenses, when to make these throws, how to look off somebody, helping with their footwork. So it's just been a joy to do all those things.
Now I got to ask this question, man, because this is one of my pet peeves. I am just really not a fan of seeing snap counts always kind of go on the first number, the first snap. As soon as they get there, one. I used to like to watch the quarterback manipulate guys, hard counts, long counts, short counts, first sound. I don't see that much anymore, and it's like it just really just hurts my heart because I'm like, man, when guys used to could do things like that or put that ball fake in that stomach, man, and hide that ball on the hip. Now I know you probably with that speed you had and the way you could operate, man, you put that thing in there and hide that thing on your hip and look guys off like I don't have the ball. And why do you think that has become so popular nowadays for there not to be the cadence counts like it once used to be?
I think that's all coming from coaching.
Yeah.
And right now, especially in college, obviously is win now. Where
Wow.
back when I played, there was no transfer was rare, and obviously it was no NIL.
Yeah.
So coaches then knew they had kids for 3 to 4 years, and more than likely their job was secure if you at a winning program. nowadays, I mean, you can't fault the coaches too much because a coach can go 10-2, but if those two losses came from schools that the AD think you should have beat, they'll fire you.
Yeah.
So now it's pretty much they trying to plug and play, don't have time to teach a lot of those cadences because as much as we use them, we do know that some guys will jump off sides and they can stop the whole drive. So I think it's just a trend right now to where they watching and seeing what one school is doing and it's working, and everybody's just trying to mimic those successful schools.
Well, man, if you needed 5 yards, man, and you could get a guy to jump outside on defense, man, and you change that cadence count, man, that was kind of easy because they're already on pins and needles ready to go, man, and you change that thing to a hard count or you make it a long count or first down. I mean, but it just seemed like some of the intangibles that I grew up with, man, that seem to make a lot of sense in football. I get it. It's faster now. They do things a little bit different, but I'm like, I guess I'm just too old school, Monte, man. I'm just, I'm stuck in back in the day, man. That was the way they used to do things, but I get it. And okay. Well, I tell you, my man, it has been a pleasure having this conversation with you. I thank you for reaching out to us on Instagram to find out when we could get you on. I've been looking forward to having the conversation, which I wish we had more time. But in lieu of that, let me tell you what's up now, man, because this is, I tell people this is my favorite part of the show. So now, first and foremost, by you coming on the show tonight, you automatically are in the realm of becoming our newest member. And as you look at that photograph, it's like, man, that looks like a fraternity house, and you got all these guys, young and old. But hey, because you have joined us tonight, Amonte Edwards, we would like to welcome you to the Brotherhood of Black Quarterbacks, known as Quarterfied Back, and let you know that we are proud to have you join us. And that's your certificate of lifetime membership, my man.
Well, thank you. That's much appreciated, and I love the conversation tonight, and I'm glad that you reached out. I know it took a while for me to see it, but I'm happy I got on here. So,
hey man,
greatly appreciate it.
Like they said, it don't matter where we start; it just matters how we finishing up. So as long as we get you on the show, whatever we had to go through, it does not matter. But we are just so immersed in our efforts, man, to continue to make sure that the legacies of Black quarterbacks are cemented for forever. And guys from at Appalachian State stand on your shoulders just like you stand on somebody else's shoulders from years and years going by, man. But the iconic value of Black quarterbacks means so much to us, and we value you. So we will be emailing you your lifetime membership certificate. Maybe you can find some space in that nice showcase back there to put up your certificate. And also we'll be sending you our gift packet, which includes your lapel pin. So the next time you're out and about, you can rep what we're doing. But man, this has been a joy. I hope that God continues to bless you with what you're doing, bless your family, and continues to just pour things into you so that you can pour them in to young men whose lives you touch.
Thank you.
So if you want to stick around, we're gonna wrap up, and we can talk a little bit more after the show is over. I got one or two more things I'd just like to share with you. So as soon as we wrap up, I'm gonna get back to you. But for now, we have come to that point in time where we got to say, hey, we'll catch y'all next Monday night, because we have now welcomed our newest brother into the fraternity, Mr. Amonte Edwards. So until next Monday night, as we always say, hey, look, we enjoy being with you. And our motto as we close out is, hey, go deep and go for the bomb. Until next Monday night, guys, we'll talk to you then. Take care. Have a good week. Stay blessed.